Hello, my name is Claes Mikko, and we're now summarizing and highlighting some of the visible business angel activity here in the Nordic Baltic area. So Nordic BAN is a not-for-profit association with 12 angel networks, and together with them we have summarized some of the main angels, accelerators, media channels and events, what is relevant for angels to follow. All this information is gathered to our website nordicban.net, more detail on the networks category. So let's dig into the amazing world of angel investing. So before we start, let's highlight what kind of networks and groups we see in the Nordic Baltic area. So the light version is this French group of those who invest together, make an announcement, and then but it's a very light version of structure. Second one would be angel funds and more systematically made syndicates who invest with the outsourced person who manage the whole group. Thirdly, last but not least, is the angel networks, typically association-based, these kind of a national or larger groups of networks that educate, inspire, and give out information. So that's those three categories we see. And out of these, we have now mapped of 32 visible angel networks and groups in the Nordic Baltic area. And they have in total 3,300 visible angels, so quite a good amount, but as we see the number is very low to the actual potential. But let's not forget that angel data is really hard to get. It's self-reported, and of course this is a shout out for everybody who's considering or making startup investment to give that information and data for your local group to then again be able to support and help the community of knowing better, and then the government can make better elements to support early stage startup investing. So the sum, what we currently have is about 90 million euros is invested on a yearly base. We know that's very low compared to the potential, but it's the best one we have at this stage. But let's dig into more detail and start with Denmark. We're going to cover Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland. From the Nordics, unfortunately, Iceland is not yet with the data available. And from the Baltics, we have more specific data on Estonia and some light information of Lithuania and Latvia. So the information from Denmark is about 11 angel networks, about 700 visible plus minus angels, and over 26 million invested on a yearly level. Some highlighted angels, we have Espen Gatsbøl, David Helgason, Neil Murray. They're all there active in inspiring, giving back. So it's also a lot about educating others and how to understand how to make these startup investments and manage risk. What is interesting is the 11 angel networks and groups we have in Denmark. We have Business Angel Syddanmark, By Founders, Capital to Grow, Danish Business Angel Network Danban, which is the largest and most covering network, being the one that linking with the government and media and representing the voice of Danish angel activity. In addition, we have Horsens Ventures, Keystones, Lonan, False Angels, Nordic Web Angel Fund, Nordic Eye, Nordic Makers, Odense Seed group. So a lot of activity we can see in the Danish area, and it's really picking up. So we're going to hear and see more from Danish angel activity in the future. And where to find those? It's the events, and maybe the Copenhagen for the win, which is the famous hashtag, which is covering a lot of on the monthly base of the activity, what happens in Denmark. We have the Business Angel yearly meeting by over 200 angels gathering to Odense. So that's definitely a good, interesting event to participate to. Then we have Tech Barbecue, which is the main event held in the end of summer, sometime August, September, also including Investor Day, a good way to link with the local investors. Accelerators, hubs, co-working spaces, a lot. Please check out those from the website. Also interesting, the media channels is the Bootstrapping, Tech Savvy, the Nordic Web, those all covering information of the Danish activity. Nordic Web being done covering the whole Nordics, so in that sense it's a very information and good newsletters on a weekly basis. In addition to the Danish activity, we have the public sector being very active and some good services in helping out those who are not Danish to get into angel investing. So that was Denmark. Now let's dig into Estonia, this really active country of angel investing. And this is done with Espan. Estonia has only one angel network, as mentioned, in this level. 130 angel members are there already, and about 10 million euros are invested on a yearly basis. So angels in Estonia, and Estonia is said to have the highest amount of startup investment activity per capita in the world. We have some good individual highlighted. Check out those on the website. the networks, as mentioned, was Estban, and some of the main events where to find these individuals are Latitude 59, which is the main largest startup event in Estonia, also Startup Day in Tartu, Startup Week, and Robotics, which is said to be the biggest robotic event in the world. So that's really good events to join in Tallinn and Estonia. Accelerators, hubs, also a lot of those available on the website. And what is really interesting is the Startup Estonia for the news channel. The government is playing a very big role in Estonia as well, supporting the activity with e-residency and other digital services. So for if you're not in Estonia, it's getting more and more easy to be part of this really inspiring environment. Then Finland. Finland has currently one angel network in the form of FIBAN, which is said to have over 670 angels. So it's one of the largest angel networks in the world, what is recognized and recorded. It has about 30, it has been over 50 million euro, the yearly angel investment size. So a lot of activity is happening in the Finnish side. Some individuals, maybe as I can highlight it, is that it's very inspirational for Finns that the grassroots level of angels, they're very active, but we have also on the different level, the highest high of the corporate level is the chairman of Nokia. So Risto Siilasmaa, very active in making startup investing, trying to inspire other on the same level to make early stage investing. Even the president and prime minister of Finland, they all made angel investments. So in that sense, it's a country that lives and breathes early stage investing. So we're going to hear much more of these later on. So as mentioned, FIBAN is one of the main channels for angel investing here. The main startup events, of course, Slush, which is the largest startup investor event in the world, is said. Over 2,000 investors gather to this Slushy Helsinki in November, December time. Good other events is Arctic 15, held in summertime, the little brother so-called. If you're interested in even more freezy pitching, it's Polar Bear Pitch in Oulu, so you can do that classic. You can pitch as long as you want, but it has to be done from frozen ice. Freezed ice, very cold, so that might be tricky. The Shift in Turku, Kasvu Open, Stream Tampere, Smash, so a lot of good events for you to get linked with the local investor ecosystem. Accelerators, hubs, also from the website. The main news channel, we had Arctic Startup, also covering by Good News Finland. That's a good channel to get the latest updates. What is interesting is Startup 100, which is an automatic service gathering all those visible startups in the Finnish ecosystem, and depending on some kind of a summary of activity and visibility, highlighting that on Startup 100 list. So that's a good thing to check out. And of course, the government plays a big role. So Business Finland is there. The Business Finland VC is being there also managing a lot of these kind of early stage funds. So a lot of activity on the early stage phase. Then we have Norway. Norway has been classified as a little less early stage investing activity. Of course, there are a lot of resources, but it's not channeled too much in the early stage level. But now lately, the news has shown that more activities happening, more activities coming from the form of startups and also investing. So our partners are FinTech Angels, Startup Angel Challenge, and Startup Lab. So what we see is currently 6 visible angel networks and groups in Norway, over 600 registered angels in these networks, and about 10 million. So once again, let's be realistic about the numbers, but it's a good start. Get that feedback, and hopefully we can develop the numbers later on. Some of the highlighted individuals we have, find those on the net site. Trond Knudsen is said to be the most active on the largest level of angel investors, so somebody you should check out. What we have on the network side and the groups, we have Angel Challenge, which is the largest with over 300 angels now as their members, more or less. They have a syndicated service where they facilitate these investments and educate. So a good service for those interested in angel investing in Norway. In addition, we have Connect in Bergen, we have FinTech Angels in Oslo, Investor Breakfast, also International Angels, and Startup Lab. There's also a few national initiatives called NORBA, Norwegian Business Angel Network, and BAN Norway. So it hasn't really covered the whole activity yet, so we'll see how the future will be, but there's good hope that more visible activity from Norway is coming up. So a lot of potential. What are the main events to join in? We have Oslo Innovation Week, which is in September-ish. sometime a good week with a lot and more startup related services and events. So that's a good place to go. If you like a little bit more extreme, is in Bergen by Angel Challenge, Startup Extreme. You can jump parachute and do a screening while you're screaming. That's a good word. And then Shift in Oslo. And then we have Catapult Future Fest, which is one of the biggest impact-related startup festivals. So really good events, Norway picking up on that sense. Accelerators, hubs, all there. There's a lot viral ecosystem. And of course, what comes to the media channels, Shifter is the main startup news channel in the form of blog. It's done in Norwegian, but maybe Google Translate can help on that level. Also, Innovation Norway, the public sector is giving a lot of information. And Innovation Norway is actually very good. They have a startup unit organized purely for inspiring early stage growth activity. So that was Norway. Then dig into Sweden. So we've done this together with Forum, Konigsberg and Stockholm's Affärsenglar. And as mentioned in the beginning, we have Sweden is of course the promised country of a lot of VC activity. They had the success with a lot of unicorns, but angel networks and groups, it's quite scattered in the Swedish ecosystem. So there's not this called a national network in the same form. So a lot of group that are independent and individual led, they are found in Sweden. We have over almost 700 visible angels, what we see so far, and a very silly number of 14 million euro invested on a yearly base, but that's definitely just the numbers we have on a visible level. So we expect that more data we get, the numbers will look very promising for Sweden on the angel level as well. Some of those highlighted individuals, maybe we could highlight Hampus Jakobsson, who was chosen as the Nordic Investor of the Year. So he's been very active in giving back, inspiring, educating. So a really good attitude how to actually make others get interested in giving back to this early stage startup growth. Some of the networks and groups we have, so Stockholm's Affärsenglar, a fund-based network trying to and managing the process of investments. We have Konigsberg, which is a national based, but very strongly driven by the cities of Gothenburg, Malmö, Stockholm, so on. Nordic Makers also active in Sweden. Sting Angels based in Stockholm on an acceleration and service base. They also have a fund, so they have a lot of angels in their network. Västkustens Affärsenglar, Forum Nordics. So as mentioned, Keiretsu is one of the largest angel networks in the world. So they have now opened a section now in Nordics, starting from Stockholm, expanding from there. So you get a good access to global information of angel activity. Angel are J12 Ventures, example of a light, visible group of experienced entrepreneurs that are making investments together. E14 also based in Åre, giving back on a local base. Nordic Light Capital, SE Angels. So a lot of activity. There's more information and more data available on the net side. Main startup events is something to highlight is Connected Capital Stockholm Tech Meetup. So Stockholm Tech, that's a monthly meeting, very dynamic and a good event to get to know a lot of the latest activities. Really interesting numbers being highlighted there. Sweden Demo Day, Foodtech Sweden, and so on. Accelerators, co-working spaces, ones all found from the website. And some of the news channels is Break It, that's one of the main channels, a lot of in Swedish. Digital, so information that's valuable for you to check out and getting information of the startup activity in Sweden. Other interesting is of course Almi Invest, which is the main network, I would say, from the public side, managing a lot of individual angels and being there actively co-investing with the ecosystem. So there are a lot of information from Almi Invest available as well. Good. So additionally, as mentioned, we're still getting more detail and data from Latvia and Lithuania. We know that Latvia has Latban and Lithuania Litban. Getting more angels, we see that they're also investing more actively together. So we predict that we're going to see a lot more as done from Estonia, from the Baltic scene of Latvia and Lithuania. Good. So all of this information, this was visible information of angel activity. As we can see, the data is quite scattered, tricky to get, but we need more information about how to support and inspire angel investing. So please share that data. Now it's the beginning of the year. We're going to see much more information coming on during the springtime, so stay tuned.